what it is you need to do overall to improve yourself for the public practice of accounting. Now, some of the students in the class are MBAs, IT. Some people just take it because it sounds like a cool class and it's online, and then they get in and they're like, wow, this is a lot of work. But I think what you'll find, when the clients get here, that in my MBA, I had a lot of fake projects, mock projects. You know, we did do a business plan, but it was for a company that we made up the idea of. There's really no better way to learn than to apply the knowledge. Now, this class, I think the clients will be very impressed when they get to meet all of you. There's some amazing backgrounds. Some of you are already controller, CFO track. We have a lawyer in the room. We've got people that have math major backgrounds. We have people with 5 years, 10 years, 20 years of experience in here. We have people that have, I think one of the students is working on their 3rd master's degree. You guys are going to be able to help these clients. And really what I'm looking for is for you to be the lead. This isn't an internship. This is you going in as consultants and helping them. It's you looking at their big picture and their little picture and saying, what can we do to help? And some of them will come in here and they tell you they want this, and you get in there and you're like, they really need this. If it comes to that point, come and talk to me, because I'm wanting to hear from you on what the clients need. Now, we had a lot of tax people, and so I couldn't put everyone that had a good tax background on Magellan, but right now, there's so many tax laws, so many changes, that if you have a tax background and you want to share that with the client, I would definitely recommend that, because there are so many different laws, so many rules and regulations, that if you help them save a little bit of money, that right there, they're going to love you forever. This is about communication skills, and really one of the most important parts of this class is speaking to your audience. I think too many times we're worried about what we need to get out of the deal. Even when it's networking, it's like, I don't want to waste my time with them. They can't get me a job. I don't need to talk to them. They don't look like an accountant. Well, guess what? In this course, you're going to have a lot of different assignments that you're doing, and a lot of them take a lot of time. One of them is meeting 100 people. Well, guess what? You've got how many here? 20? You're going to have about 20. The clients will be here. It's going to be about 25. Try to meet everyone, even Sierra right here, right? Did I get it right, Sierra? So even Sierra, you should meet Sierra, because guess what? If you're on Amanda's team and you remember Sierra was here, then it's a connection. It's all about connections. What do you think is one of the most meaningful ways to build a connection with someone? What do you think? Anyone? What do you think, Sierra? Be kind, right? Absolutely. See, you should take this class. You might be able to help your mom with some of the homework, I bet. You say, Mom, we're at Tom Thumb. You need to meet people. Because guess what? If you go in and you see someone that's waited on you for years and years, and you know their name, and you say, hey, Galen, how's it going? Versus, hey, how's it going? Doesn't it mean more when they remember your name? Some of the students will say, oh my gosh, Mary Beth, you remembered my name in the hallway. And I'm like, yes, I tried to do that. Why? Because it builds relationships. If I see Brian and I can remember his name and I say, hey, Brian, how's it going? He's going to remember that. He's going to say, wow, she took time to do that. Because why? Because a lot of people don't take time to remember your name. And so that's important. Some of you are going to be C-level executives. I already can tell just from meeting with you, from talking with you, from where you are. Some of you are going to be partners of CPA firms. When you get to that point, it's not about whether you know how to do an Excel spreadsheet. It's about networking. It's about meeting people. It's about adding value. It's about creating opportunities with the people that you meet. So you say, well, I don't understand why I'm going to go meet someone at Tom Thumb. They're not going to be able to help me find a job. Well, here's an interesting story. When I was taking Jazzercise, I went and met my instructor, and I told my students, they're like, 100 people in the summer, that's 10 weeks. No way, that's not going to happen. I said, I'm going to do it too. And so I went up to my Jazzercise instructor, and I just introduced myself, and then she had to start, and she came back, what is this class again? And I told her, it's accounting communication. She goes, did you know I'm a CPA? I said, no. Did you know I'm in investment banking part-time? I just do Jazzercise because I love it. You never know what someone's background is until you ask. people that I was working with in church for years, I didn't realize they were in accounting until I started asking, so what do you do for a living? What is it you do? And I'm like, wow, I have all these people that are right around me that I can talk to that I didn't even have any idea about it. So you'll see in the assignments, there's a lot of assignments, and what I want to encourage you to do on the assignments is you have the packet of all the assignments except for like discussion postings and some of those. Read through them now so you know how much time it's going to take, because you can't just say, oh, I've got the meet 100 people thing due in a week and it's going to happen. It's not going to happen. And I don't want people, I've heard people lied about meeting people and they just wrote a bunch of random names down. Don't do that. Just be honest with me and say, I didn't meet the people. Because you're going to be missing out on the benefit. Now, you'll notice on that assignment, I want you to meet 20 people in more detail, and then the rest of them, it can be a little bit more high level. But if you meet someone, so it's like 10 points for the first 20, and then if you decide to blow it off after that, it's 10 points for the last 80. So some of you that are too busy to do some of the assignments in the class, just see what the assignments are dealing with, and then you can decide. Now, Tiffany, what would be your ideas, or what would you encourage people to do? She survived my class last semester with a bookkeeping company. So what would you add to what I'm saying? What's the secret to success in this class?
Going off of what she said, just being familiar with the deadlines, definitely flip through that assignment calendar and just be aware of what's coming up. And I encourage you to click into all of the assignment instructions, which should be available right now, to get an idea of what's required for each one. Because some of them you may be able to spend a little less time on, but some of them you definitely need maybe 1 or 2 weeks on. So
yes. So like the professional development plan. Some of you I met with, you're like, I'm going from this career to this career. And I have one person in the class was a dentist in the service, and he's changing his career to accounting. And so when you're doing that type of thing, you might have to think strategically about how that's going to be best done. So maybe you want to look more at your career and your career pathing. Maybe you want to do more networking with people that are in accounting that maybe have a medical background or a dentistry background. These are the types of things with the individual projects, that's kind of what we're doing. And so each of you have selected, or if you haven't met with me yet, you will select an item, which is kind of your individual project goal, that is going to be something that you're selecting that's going to help you with your development in this course. So you can see are there any questions in the syllabus so far? I provided one. I saw some of you. Laura had her syllabus already. I'm hoping that people read over it. I wasn't planning to go through the entire syllabus at length, but is there anything that you have questions on overall? Yes.
I know you put on line that we're not using it. What is Aplia?
Aplia is it's kind of like a database of questions about each of the chapters that you go through and have like online tests about the chapters to see that you're learning the content. Okay. It takes a lot of time, and I mean, is it worth it? A lot of students liked it, but it was taking students about 2 hours a week to do, and I felt like that's something that could be eliminated. So I eliminated it this time, and no one seems to miss it. So we're just going to go with that.
Thank you.
You can thank me now, yeah, because it was about 2 hours worth of work each week. And for some students, I think it would have been good, especially if English is your second language, it would be good. And a lot of my other students where English is the first language said it was a great refresher. What I would encourage you to do on the material is all of the material is taped. There's lectures associated with it. On most of the assignments, it will tell you which chapters are related to that. You can go and read the chapters related to that. Probably my most favorite chapter in the entire book is on e-learning messages, the chapter 5. I feel like that one is the most, or helped me the most in my own professionalism and my own skills, and y'all are going to probably hear this story. I'm going to probably tell it to the clients. But you see up here where it says client meeting, 4 to 7 p.m.? Well, I had asked Lucretia to send a message out to the clients, and they're not coming till 5. And I showed her my syllabus, and I didn't make it clear that they needed to come at 5. And so they got an email that they should be here at 3:45. And we just found that Tiffany was like, well, I was asking when the food was coming, and she said it's coming at 3:30, and I'm like, but the clients aren't coming until 5. And this was yesterday, right before I was about to go to my SAP class. And I'm like, and we double checked it. We looked over it. Tiffany and I both looked over it before it went out. And guess what? It was wrong. And also the room changed. So Lucretia had already sent a message out, the room changed. And then she's like, you mean I'm going to have to put out that, now I'm going to have to say that the time changed too? And I said, no, I'm going to do it. But that's communication, right? I had a miscommunication, and my husband's like, you still miscommunicate, and you're a communications teacher. And I'm like, well, guess what? Everyone miscommunicates. I have a text message from my neighbor that I was saying, you know, now I'm bringing my son to cross country if you want me to bring your daughter. And she's like, well, cross country started at 6:30. And what I meant was going forward, my older son that drives is not doing it, so I can drive your daughter. And she misunderstood and thought I could bring her today. And I meant in the future to me, but to her meant right then. So how many times does this happen? All the time. And I just told Lucretia, and I ended up being late to my class because I was like, I need to tell them now because I don't want them showing up at 3:45 to listen to this when they don't have to. It's going to be boring for them. They don't need to hear that. It's probably boring for you too. I don't know. Hopefully it's not boring for you guys because this is kind of what you need to know. It's not really what they need to know. But anyway, so this right here is what I would take and put into whatever calendar you have. These are all the due dates for pretty much everything, okay? Yes, it's a lot. I understand that. It's a lot. It's a communications class. But every single thing on here builds on itself. So, for example, your introductions, selling yourself, that's going to feed into your biography, which is due on the 3rd. The biography is something that all of you will be able to use in the future. You can use that to build your LinkedIn profile. And then you're going to use that to build your team bios. And then you've got your elevator speeches. We're going to be doing those elevator speeches with the clients for about 15 seconds. Some of you had told me you can't be here for that whole client meeting. So if you want to do your elevator speech at the end of this, you can do it at the end. And then that way you don't have to tape one and have to upload it and do all this other stuff. So we've got that going on. The beginning of the semester meeting with the professor, whatever we talked about, you're going to submit. So, for example, Amanda, what are you working on? What's your individual goal? Do you remember
No.
what we said?
Oh, Lord, I can't believe you remember and I don't.
I don't remember. That's why I'm looking at you trying to remember what it was. But do you own your own business? No, wait.
I do.
You do own your own
Yeah.
business.
Yeah.
Let me see if I can remember what it was.
And I forgot my notepad, but I took all my notes and.
Yeah, I probably
It was
have
a good one.
I have
Remember
it wasn't it about doing your own business plan as you were going?
Yeah, but that's not what we ended up choosing.
That's not what we ended up choosing. But anyway, so she's going to have to go refresh herself, and I have all my notes over here, so I could tell you what yours was. If you look, can you see where Amanda is? It's with, it would be this way, Fat key. She's right here. Hopefully I have yours in here. I don't see it. Where is it? Oh yeah, maybe I have it in somewhere else. Okay, maybe I haven't filed it in my file yet. But yeah, was it doing career planning or no? It wasn't that. I can't remember. But anyway, so each of you has your own individual career plan that you're going to be working on, and that's going to be something that isn't due until the end of the semester. So for some of you, you're going to be doing blog postings for the Texas Society of CPA. For some people, it's doing more informational interviews. So maybe that's the one that you have.
That's what it was.
That's the one.
That was
With more informational interviews because you're trying to redefine yourself, or you're trying to really see where your degree is going to fit in. Or maybe it's going to be doing a TED Talk, like one of the students that did a TED Talk that you'll get to eventually in the materials. So that way it's going to be kind of customizing the experience for you. The professional development plan is probably one of my most favorite ones because you're going to put in a PowerPoint your professional development plan. And then you'll be able to share that with people. And really, I feel like it comes to life as a PowerPoint. I used to have that as a Word document, and then we changed it to a PowerPoint. Actually, Mary Guan, another professor that teaches at school, she's like, well, I do it as a PowerPoint. I was like, that's even better, because then it's pictures, and it's what you want to do, and you visualize it. That's supposed to kind of feed into which projects you do, and you'll see that the team project plan, the client engagement letter, all of those are going to be here. Your status updates, you will send those to your clients on a weekly basis. You also should post those on your discussion board. Now, within the system, if you've been assigned to a team, you should be able to see a discussion board, and I'll show that in a minute. Free feedback, I'll meet with the teams either virtually, online, or a combination of both. And we'll look over your projects, and at this point, I'll give feedback on where you stand. I want you to be 33% complete as to the work of the project. So, for example, if you've drafted the transmittal letter, you've drafted the sections, that'll probably get you to close to 33% complete by the time that we meet about halfway through the semester. Informational interviews, you're required to interview 2 people that you can learn from. You talk to them, you get in touch. It might be your boss. It might be someone that you think highly of. I'm really wanting you to do one of those to be an UTD alumni. If one of them isn't a UTD alumni, still do it. You'll lose some points for it not being one, but I want you to try to network with UTD alumni for at least one of those. These are great ways to find out about jobs. Your dream company's Deloitte, and there's no way to interview with them, do an informational interview with someone. You'd be surprised how many doors that open. It's not, hey, I'm going to work at your company, but how did you get your job at Deloitte? What was it you did to get hired on, and that type of thing. So the informational interviews are a lot of fun to get to know. LinkedIn Challenge. Some people, Kevin, I think, posted about the SSI score, and I love your little link. That was great. At the beginning of the semester, I was a 50. Now I'm up to a 55, so I'm gaining back. And you'll see in your materials, I was like a 54, and I went up to a 55. So it goes up and down some. I guess I wasn't doing enough networking over Christmas. So it went down.
What's the SSI score?
The SSI score. Someone tell Amanda what's the SSI score. Was there a name card for her? Do you still have the name cards over there for Amanda?
Yeah.
Okay. Anyone want to share what the SSI score is? It's the social selling index of LinkedIn. And as someone who owns your own business, it's probably even more important for you to have a high SSI score because it's showing that you're networking, that you're meeting the right people. Now, part of my SSI score is probably low because I have a disproportionate amount of students that are on my SSI compared to CFOs or controllers and above, which is probably where I should be hovering. But I don't really care about that because if the CFO or the CEO or the controller wants a student and they're connected on me and I help someone find a job, then I'm happy. So I'm okay with mine not being as high as it could be. But you typically want to link in with people that are of the same level or higher than you. For students that don't have a lot of experience, you want to get to 500 as quickly as possible so that you get into searches. And that can be friends of friends. It doesn't really matter. You can weed out of it later. Personally, I have a different idea of LinkedIn. I feel like you should link in with people that you feel comfortable with, that you know that other people know. And I don't think it hurts for you to be linked in with someone unless you know that they're a problem person. And in that case, you probably want to unlink with them. But for the most part, I don't think it's going to hurt you to have more. That's the way I look at it. In this course, you're only required to have 100. Now, that said, if you have some reason you can't be on social media, let me know immediately. I've had, for example, my husband's cousin, she has someone that stalks her from her family, and so she can't be on social media. If you have a situation like that, which I know is limited, let me know and we'll modify your work, because I don't want to put you in a situation that's uncomfortable for you based on all that. Networking, it starts with hello. I've got a TED Talk on how to start that. Finding 3 things in common. When the clients come, I would encourage you to try to find 3 things in common with your client. It'll help them remember you. And then you're going to have you can see right here, discussion board topics. Since you're here today, you're not going to have to really post in the first part of the discussion boards because you're here. So I kind of see that as you're making a big commitment to be here. But I do want you to post that you were here. That's the only thing I want you to post. I was there, this is what I learned, or whatnot. If you're on a team with a client, then I would like for you to take notes about that and post that under your team's area too. Final project report, the rubrics are in there too. Client communication, the rubrics in there as well. Teaming evaluation forms and individual project results. So if you go through the rubrics, you can see that everything is in there. And in the rubrics, everything is in here that you would need to do. Now, how do you get started? Well, okay, first off, I would like to show you in the course a couple of tools that will be helpful to you. Let me do this. Okay, so while I'm doing this, I want you to ask people at your table, what questions do you have right now? So just ask, and then we'll see what you have. Ask the people at the table what questions they have, or what are they not sure about. Okay, y'all can ask those questions. Anything you're not sure about?
I just think it's a lot of work. I mean, it's just going to be tough to understand how they can be. That's where I'm concerned. And balance with this. I want to make sure that I'm not missing something from one of the messages.
Yeah, so like I see it in one spot and try to remember where I saw it again. Yeah.
You guys, any concerns? Well, I mean, there's a career or whatever career you want. I would think, right?
I see most of the students, they put like CPA, audit, taxes, because it's an accounting course. But since I'm done with anatomy, I might want to know that becomes
What's your other idea?
I think so. Really like to join
Let's get on that item.
Okay. So this table back here, what's the question you guys have?
I asked her about which group she would like to join in
Okay.
the company.
Okay, you're already on a team, aren't you? Which team are you on?
Trinity Review.
Yes, you're on Trinity Reviews. Yeah. So what was your question?
Yeah, so I just, I'm here with
Which group?
Yes.
So which group are you interested in?
I'm interested in SNR.
S&A?
Yes,
S&A, okay. Okay, well, there's a couple of folks over here that are going to be on that team, so we can talk at the break if that's the one you really want. I think there's still room on that. Did you have any questions, Chang?
Yeah, she asked me which project I want to join.
Okay.
And I answered.
Which one are you interested in?
S&A.
S&A, I'm not sure we'll have enough space on S&A for both of you, because I think we're maybe up to 3 or 4, so we'll have to check and see. Okay, so what about this? We haven't heard from this table. What about you? Did y'all have any questions from this table? Oh yeah. Oh, you're already starting. Oh yes. So right here, what you can do on page 21, You can write down the names of the people that you're meeting today, the people at your table, and look, you're almost 20% done. You can even put my name down. You can put down Tiffany's name. You can put down Sierra. I wanted to say Sienna. Now it's like I want to say Sienna, and I was saying Sierra. So if you don't write it down, guess what? If you don't write it down, you will forget their name. See, I already should have written down Sierra's name. See, I should have written down Sierra's name. I'm going to write it down so I don't forget. If you don't write it down, you're going to forget their name.
Professor Goodrich, do you guys have any more of those packets?
I'll add you guys.
The packets? Yes.
For Jan and all?
Yeah, he's got it going around.
Oh, you do not have a packet? Does anyone else not have a packet of information? Both of you don't have? So you're writing down some information. That's good.
3 kids.
Does everyone else have the meeting agenda besides Jan and Amanda?
I was so impressed. Thank you very much.
Does anyone else need these materials? Okay, question from this table. What question do you guys have from this table?
I asked where we deliver all of these things, by all that.
Where do you deliver these things? Did anyone answer you?
Board,
What else? What's going on?
Yes.
We should be best friends.
Exactly. So if you look at the assignment calendar, if it says ASM, that's an assignment. And I'll show you in the course what you'll do. And Amanda, have you worked at all with e-learning, or is this kind of a new?
Oh, I'm an old hat.
Okay. Well, here's where you go with the assignments. And I'm going to put it into, I'm going to pretend I'm a student. So with the biography, you're going to click up here. Oh, you're going to click, if you want to download it, you click here, you write your submission, or you can browse the computer to upload it. So you would probably want to upload your document, okay? Then you submit it. Most of my assignments allow you to submit more than one time. Because if you're like me, sometimes you put the wrong version up there. And you need to put the right version. And or you put the version that you think you're going to get done because you know that it's month-end close. One of the people that hoped they would be here are not here because of closing issues that they were having and some other stuff that was going on that they were having to do right now. So maybe you're not sure you're going to get to it again. So you upload it and then you get time and you make it better and you upload it again. So I will grade the most current one unless you tell me not to. I will grade the most current one unless the most current one was late. That's where you would go for the assignments, so that's a great question. I did want to direct you to this area, ProConnect templates and resources. This right here has a lot of resources, and oh yeah, here's the business agenda. I was asking Tiffany if we had the business agenda, and we do. So the business agenda is here. I was also talking to Reagan, and I've got a little bit of information to go here, but example email for your introductory email. If you look in this packet of information, if you look on page 3 and 4, if you have your team members here, while y'all are listening to the clients, you can write in your availability and start figuring out what your availability is. Have you ever tried to make a meeting with someone and you're like, I need to meet with you as soon as possible, and they're like, yeah, let me know when you're available. Well, if you would have just told them when you were available to begin with, it would have made it much easier, right? So this is all about audience. It's about your audience's perspective. It's about making the communications with your audience easier. It's on making it easier for your audience to say yes. If you say, these are all the times that the team is available, which of the times of these times work for you, versus the client says, well, I'm available on Mondays, and then you're like, nobody on our team is available on Mondays. So if you let them know when you're available, you can kind of work something out accordingly. Now, the interesting thing about this course, and I'm trying to distribute the people in this situation, we've got someone that lives in Austin. We have someone that lives in San Antonio in the class. We have someone that's in Alabama. We have someone that's in somewhere in Oklahoma, maybe. We have someone that's in another Texas state, Austin, and we have someone in Saudi Arabia. And I said, you know, we've had students in China in the class over the summer. And someone's like, well, how are we going to coordinate? I'm like, well, you're going to have to figure it out. But think of it this way. While y'all are sleeping, your China person, your Saudi Arabia person can be working while you're sleeping. So you get more time during the day. So think of the positive ways of looking at all this different stuff. But you can see there's a lot of information here that's really, really good that you can kind of use. Was there a question at the table back here? Anything you guys didn't have answered?
I asked for the professional development plan. Does that need to be something related to accounting? Since it's accounting.
It does not have to be. If you, I had one student take my class that said, you know what, your class made me realize I want to be a French baker. And she was Chinese, okay? And somehow she convinced her parents that she needs to go to France and be a baker. And I'm like, please don't tell my executives that you're now out of the MS of Accounting program because of my class. But I would much rather you follow your dreams than to do something that you're not going to love. And so who knows? She's probably making French bakery items right now, and I would be happy for her.
What did you bring to class? I mean,
what did I say in the class?
no, did you bring food to class or something?
No, she did not, but she was telling us that's what she really wanted to do, and after the class she was brave enough to do it. Well, part of that, one of the items that we do in the class is what used to be required was what colors are your parachute. And some people are doing it because they're trying to reinvent themselves, but I don't require everyone to do it. But she went through it, and she's just like, you know, I'm in accounting because my parents are making me, and I don't love it. And, you know, sometimes maybe that's the decision. So, yes, Tracy, you don't have to be in accounting. We've got MBAs. We have an MBA in this class. We have an IT guy that just wanted to take this as an elective. So, anyway, we've got Aaron Cummings here, and he's from the BCC. So I wanted to give him a few minutes, and he has to get going to another meeting. But your resumes, your cover letters, there's a lot of small talk types of events that are done, and I want to turn it over to Aaron to share a little bit about what the BCC does, and then also Tiffany has some items that we can hand out. So,
sounds great.
Aaron,
Thank you so much, Mr. Goodrich.
Yes.
Hello, everyone. My name is Aaron Cummings, and I'm with the BCC, or the Business Communication Center, and we do communication and business. So that's as you might expect. Would you mind if I pop open a browser?
No,
for
absolutely.
the website?
Absolutely. You can definitely do
Awesome.
that.
So all you have to do to find us on the internet is to type this, bcc.utdallas.edu, and we will emerge from the internet. And there we are. So I will talk about the things you can do here, and I'll use the website to sort of guide it. But I believe Professor
Do you want me to
Goodrich,
get these out?
wouldn't mind. That would be awesome.
No, I don't mind.
Thank you so much.
Do you want to help me?
So basically, our center works on sort of two levels. One is for anybody and everybody who wants to deal with anything involving communication. This would be things such as resumes, cover letters, and things of that nature, right? The other thing that we do, and this is sort of my special field, is what happens if you come here for your MS in accounting, but maybe your first language is not English, and maybe even your bachelor's degree was not done in an English-speaking university. And that's what I'm here for. I'm here to help you guys in particular, but I'll cover all of our materials equally. What Professor Goodrich is passing out comes in two different flavors. The black and white one is my flavor. The blue and red one is Elizabeth's flavor, Elizabeth being my coworker at the BCC. So, if you look first at the blue and red materials, these are the things that if you go to our website, you can find under For All Students. If you click on For All Students, you'll notice you can put in your name, and then you'll discover you can either go to the resume workshop or to the cover letter workshop, and you can see when these are going to be. One of them is coming up in only 5 days. The next one is popping up on March 11th. I encourage you to register for these quickly because they tend to fill up, and then there you are on the outside looking in. The same thing with our cover letter workshops. We have one coming up on February 11th and then March 26th. You can get all the details of those on the red and blue handouts. once you go to these workshops, you'll then be eligible to attend some more additional services. So you go to this workshop, it's an hour and a half, they tell you everything there is to know about your cover letter or your resume. We all know there's a gap between knowledge and practice. So once you've got all the knowledge you need, you'll then be eligible to join a pod, which is a group of 6 to 8 students, where they'll actually work on you in a more practical situation, and you'll be able to improve your resume or cover letter even more. Once you've done that, you're then eligible for a one-on-one appointment with a tutor. And you get 45 minutes to really hone and polish and perfect that document, whether it be the resume or the cover letter. Does that make sense? If you have any questions, you'll see on the red and blue materials Elizabeth's contact information, her office, her phone number, her email, and what have you. Any questions about the cover letters and the resumes? Yes, sir?
Sometimes when I've looked at your site before, I'll go to it and want to do something, and then there's like a series of things I have to do first. Like,
Yes.
does that require me to write?
So that's an example of what I'm talking about, the series of things you're required to do first. The requirement is first to go to the workshop that you can see here. And then once you've done that, you're then eligible for the next steps. Does that make sense? So the thing you have to do first is the workshop. But once you've gone to the workshop, you're then able, at that workshop, to sign up for step number 2, and then step number 3, which would be your small group, and then your one-on-one appointment. Does that make sense? Awesome. Yeah, great question. Any others? Okay, then let's move on to my side of the BCC fence. And that's what you'll see in the little handout that folds. So if you look at my material, go back to the website here, pop up for English language learners. This is my particular job. And you'll see a couple of things that I do. One is called small talk or corporate conversations. And this means, let's say that you have come here and you have studied English previously, and you're good on that, but then you get here and you realize not only do you need to know the grammar, but practicing it in the ebb and flow of a conversation is somewhat more challenging, say, right? So you can book an appointment with me by emailing me, and I will be able to practice with you one-on-one. I have a book of 43 different conversation topics, conversation starters. Pick the one you like, you can go from there, you can practice to your heart's content. Make sense? Then we have a bunch of grammar groups. That's what you see on the very first side of that, where it has the little grid of grammar topics. Go here and pick whichever ones you want to register for. Each topic is offered twice. One's on a Tuesday and one's on a Wednesday to meet your class schedule. And register for 1, 2, 3, or all of these, whatever you feel like you need to brush up on. And I'll get an email saying, hey, you registered, I'll save your spot, and you'll be able to come up to BCC. The email will tell you the room number, and you can practice that grammatical skill in that pod. Make sense? Then, the other things that I offer are accent training on Mondays at 5:30. You can see that in the handout. It's in the BCC. That can help you understand and be understood. And then there's one thing that I'll emphasize is time sensitive. And that's here where you see BEAT, or the Business English Immersion Program. This is something that starts on February 8th and will be for 3 hours on 3 Fridays per month in February, March, and April. A total of 27 hours of English practice. This will be aimed at international students who really want to get a practical approach to English practice before they hit the real quote-unquote world. Not that we're not in the real world now, but you all know what we mean, right? If you're interested, email me, because I have to interview you first to make sure it's really a fit for you. And you can see all the details there on the handout. I have to go now, so thank you so much for the time.
Thank you so much for coming.
By the way, if you have any information, I apologize I can't take up more time to explain these things to you, but if you have more information, you can see my email right there, aaron.cummings@utdallas.edu. Email me with literally any English question under the sun. Like, I don't care what it is. If you want to learn how to write sonnets, if you want to send emails, if you want to, write boilerplate for your company website, that's what I'm here for. Please avail yourself of me. I enjoy it. Thank you so much. Good to meet you all. Thank you, Professor Goodrich.
We appreciate it.
Thank you. You get the rest of these, I guess?
Yeah, well,
Thank you.
if I can keep one of each, I'm gonna put, no, I'm just gonna put it in
Yeah.
my, on my door in my office
Sounds
so
great.
people can see it.
Thank you
But
so
thank
much.
you so much for being here. Actually, I'm gonna take two of these.
That was great.
Okay,
Appreciate it. Thank you so much.
okay, perfect. Thank you.
Enjoy your evening,
Okay,
you and all.
okay,
Thank you, guys.
okay. So any other questions about the course? I know that, the initial meeting is kind of my expectation after today is that you'll, exchange information with your client if you have already been assigned to a team, and start looking at your availability, asking the client's availability and whatnot. And the goal is to set up a meeting within the next week or so with your client to go over the scope of the project. I have posted all of my meeting notes into the classroom or into your groups area, and this is how you make sure that, let's see, did he, I wonder if he X'd out of my section, maybe he did. Oops. If you do, you should be able to see a group section. Oops. Let me unmute this. Oh, it's not unmuting. Okay, oh wait, how do I do this? Okay, let me get into it real quick. Okay, I'm not muting it. I thought I was muting it. Okay. If you go down to e-learning as a student, I'm not in a group, but you can go down into this groups area. Down here, you'll see a group name. If you haven't been assigned, you won't see a group name here. When you go into the group area, there will be contact information for your client within that group area and other information. So you can see all the different projects are here. Whichever group you're in, if you click on it, you'll be able to get the contact information. But you also will get the contact information from the clients today, or at least that's the goal that we're hoping for, is that you'll get that information today from the clients. And then the first meeting is just to get to know each other, to talk about the scope of the project, to really understand what that is, to make sure you can do it, to make sure it's a doable scope. And if you're not sure that your team can do it or you think it's too much, then you can let me know. If you look on, this was shared with the clients as well. The types of projects that we can do, and we'll be talking about some of this with the clients as well. What you can do and what we're limited on, we can do research, internal audit, process reviews, financial statement, number crunching. We can put business plans together. But what ProConnect is not, is we're not the accounts payable person. We can't do repetitive work. We can't really be doing transactions in the system. So just make sure, because a lot of the companies we're working with might have that need. We can do tax research. That's a tricky one because we can't do people's tax returns, but you can do tax research. So just be careful. We're not giving advice, we're giving student research, okay? So, and some of you, probably know more than some of the CPAs out there. So just, it's really just advice, and the clients know, and we've got some of our clients here right now, but they know that we're students, and mainly this is learning, okay? So you'll see in a lot of the work that we have, we just need to make sure that they know that it's a learning process. So any other questions? Okay, no questions. We've got the food here. I know that some of the folks, who needs to leave by 5 or 5:30 and needs to do their elevator speech now? Is it just you, Kevin? Does anyone else need to do their elevator speech? I think you're the only one. So we'll put you want to come up or you can do your elevator speech, and you've got some of the clients here too, but
Sure.
Yeah, okay. We'll go ahead and have yours, but the other folks are going to do theirs later.
Hi.
Come on in.
Are you ready?
You can just go, yeah.
Hi, my name is Kevin Barnes. I'm currently Director of Finance with Southwest Transplant Alliance. I'm also a graduate student here at University of Texas at Dallas. I'm getting my master's in accounting, so I'll be CPA eligible. All of the projects look great. When I met to discuss the projects, we felt the Trinity Reviews project was the best that fit my background in accounting, internal audit, and healthcare. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. Okay. And who else is on the Trinity Reviews project? You're already assigned there. Okay, perfect. So when the clients come, he's able to stay for a little bit, but then he has another meeting at work. So thank you, Kevin, for being here for the amount of time that you were able to be here. What we'll do, since there's no more questions, is we're going to take a break. The clients are starting to come in. We had asked them to get here